Tonight's episode of TNA was actually quite short, and that's usually what tends to happen before these special events. You know, Emergence isn't really a pay-per-view, I don't think you could call it that, although it's marketed as one. It's more of a TNA Saturday night's main event, if you get that kind of comparison. So let's just get into what happened with the show, because you know, it was honestly just a recap to get us invested in Emergence. So the show opened with Moose being attacked backstage. Now the rest of the system is completely pissed off by this. They know exactly who did it, Trick Williams and First Class, so they head to the ring and call out First Class and Trick Williams right now. They don't want to fight them in the main event, they want to fight them right now. I do like this, it gave the show a very interesting opening, a very exciting opening, and then at the end of the day, Trick Williams and First Class picked up the victory after Rich Swann rolled up Brian Myers. And something I realized in this match is that we had 3 former world champions in this match. Obviously Trick Williams is the current TNA World Champion, so that's there, but Rich Swann, who won the match for his team, is also a former TNA World Champion. And then you also had Eddie Edwards, who is also a former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So you know, this match was actually filled with world champions. It didn't really do much for me, but I think it was a fun opening to progress the story. I wish Moose came out and did something, just got involved somehow. But okay, you know, the match is tomorrow night or tonight depending on where you are watching this video. So yeah, and the next match was a knockout tag team match. Indy Hartwell and Danny Luna defeat Myla Grace and Harley Hudson. Now I want to discuss this a bit because I'm glad I took a little bit before filming this video because I initially had conflicting feelings. I like Indy Hartwell and Danny Luna as a team. I feel like they kinda have a nice blend, but I also feel like Danny Luna deserves a singles run because she has so much potential, and Indy Hartwell has been built up so well as a singles wrestler. Just throwing them into the knockout tag team division doesn't feel, you know, it doesn't feel right. Especially with how little, you know, high level talent the singles division at least has. You kind of want to build up more wrestlers. Now, after the match, Rosemary returns and she's missed in the face of Indy Hartwell, and we're going to have that match at Emergence. It's going to be fun. Rosemary returns only to probably lose, which is funny. I wonder what's up with Rosemary. Like, she hasn't been here for a while. Regardless, after the match, Indy Hartwell's backstage, she's getting checked up. Jody Threat tries to check up on her, but Danny Luna arrives and chases Jody Threat away. So while initially I wanted to complain about them being a tag team, the fact that Indy Hartwell is having a match against Rosemary and will probably have some sort of big match at Bound for Glory does put me at ease a bit more. And then also at the same time, you know, Jody Threat versus Danny Luna is a feud we've been building kind of very slowly, but I like how personal it feels and how they keep getting involved in each other's business. And that could also be a potential match at Bound for Glory, I think. So I'm not too upset at this. I just wish instead we had Harley Hudson and Myla Grace win the match, because they probably could have used it more than Indy Hartwell and Danny Luna could have. And what happened with Victoria Crawford? Wasn't she like Indy Hartwell and Danny Luna's manager, quote unquote, trying to get the match? So I wish we continued that too, because that was kind of funny. But yeah, it is what it is. Another match is Matt Cardona versus John Skyler of the Order of 4. I did also like this match. I'm glad John Skyler got a match because Jason Arch always gets the matches. You know, Mustafa Ali's got matches. John Skyler is the one that doesn't really get singles matches. Although he loses, I'm just happy he gets that opportunity. Now after the match, the rest of the Order 4 jump the ring and attack him. Mustafa Ali comes out and it looks like he's gonna join the attack too, but he sends Agent Zero out to finally lay out Matt Cardona, put the final nail in the coffin. I like that. Agent Zero is starting to grow on me. I initially didn't feel much towards him, but I like that he's this big hulking guy that just puts the finishing blow on their opponents. It's kinda cool. Later on backstage, Matt Cardona chases down Tasha Steelz and asks for a match at Emergence against Mustafa Ali, and that gets granted. So that's gonna be a pretty solid match too. 2 little segments for us next is the Tag Team Knockouts Tag Team Championship Summit. The Elegance brand, The Inspiration, Fatal Influence, and Xia Li and Xia Brookside. So, well, not Xia Li, it's Laying Li now. What the fuck am I talking about? Anyway, they all just basically run down why they think they're gonna win the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. You know, it's not a match with a lot of heat behind it. I think the Elegance brand is most likely going to retain unless they want to put it on Fatal Influence, but that wouldn't really make sense for their story a whole lot. So yeah, my prediction for this match is probably that it's gonna be the By Elegance brand retaining. I do hope they actually give Maggie Lee or Maggie by Elegance, M by Elegance, whatever the hell she's called now, give her the tag team belt, because Ash by Elegance is still holding that belt, but she's not the one fighting for it. So yeah, I wonder what's up with that. Then we also have a King's Speech Frankie Kazarian show with Steve Macklin and Jake Something. You already know that I don't give a damn about Jake Something and Steve Macklin's feud, so I have nothing really to say here, and if you add Frankie Kazarian in the mix, you know, your chances of getting me involved or interested in his feud drastically go down. And so yeah, after this we have Santana versus Eric Young, with the Northern Army behind him. Santana picks up the victory, you know, but after the match, well, like instantly, he pins Eric Young. Instantly, the Northern Army jump to the ring, brutally attack him, but Sami Callihan comes out for the save. Now here's my prediction for what's gonna happen. I think we're building towards a feud with Sami Callihan and Eric Young for Bound for Glory. Like, we've had so many interactions between the two, so much tension built up between the two of them that it would feel weird if Santana just wins at Emergence and Sami Callihan retires or does whatever and doesn't end this feud with Eric Young. So my feeling is that Santana is, or probably the match is just not gonna end solidly, and Eric Young is going to get involved somehow, and that's going to lead to Santana doing whatever he has to do at Bound for Glory, possibly facing Trick Williams, and then also you're going to have Sami Callihan versus Eric Young. You know, it's not really a match I'm excited for, but at least it's a story that's being built, so you know, we're going to see how it evolves. And then in the main event, you have champions versus challengers, the Hardy Boys and Leon Slater versus Cedric Alexander and the Rascals. And honestly, Zachary Wentz, Cedric Alexander, and Myron Reed feels like a pretty cool faction, right? Myron Reed feels like a slightly better, more charismatic replacement for Trey Miguel. No offense to Trey Miguel, but like, I'm not really that invested in the guy. And Cedric Alexander feels like he can be a good mentor figure, be the good unk of the team. So I feel like that could be a cool Rascals formation if that's something we want to do, you know, just some headcanon. Now, obviously, the Hardy Boys win. No, they don't. No, they don't. Cedric Alexander pins Leon Slater ahead of their match. So that means Leon Slater is probably going to retain. I mean, we all knew that. They weren't going to have Leon Slater, their big up-and-coming star, lose the X Division Championship to Cedric Alexander after winning it a few weeks ago and getting praised by AJ Styles. Yeah, this was just a way to give Cedric Alexander some momentum going into the match, and the Hardy Boys are obviously not going to lose. We already have the announcement that it's going to be the Hardys versus Team 3D at Bound for Glory, so they're not going to have the Hardy Boys lose the championships now. So this is really just a match to get the challengers some momentum before they ultimately lose tonight, tomorrow night, depending on where you are. So if I had to give the night show rating, I'm going to be completely honest with you, you probably felt that vibe throughout the video. I wasn't really too interested in it. I think we could have just straight up done Emergence and not really need any of this. Some of the matches like Rosemary and Indy Hartwell being set up is kind of cool, you know, but like, I don't feel like it's that effective. We could have done it on any regular weekly show too. So it's not that interesting. So I'd give it a 5 out of 10, right? If you sat down, you're a big TNA fan, this episode was fine. But overall, I think it's a very missable episode of TNA, all things considered. So if you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe. We're almost at 600 subscribers, like damn, we're so close. So please subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna cover Emergence tomorrow night or tonight, whenever it comes out. Again, time periods are kind of whack. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe. I cover NXT TNA and I will cover Emergence. So I hope to see you again soon.
Okay, bye.